What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to a brand new Let's Play. A Let's Play of a game that I have been eagerly anticipating for some time now. This is the sequel to one of my all-time favorite games, and that is, of course, Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori and the Will of the Wisps I have been excited for ever since it came out. And normally, if I was Let's Playing any other game, I would just be jumping right on into it, and we wouldn't be having this discussion at the beginning. Now, if you genuinely don't care about anything I have to say here in the beginning, click the time that I have put in the corner. I'll also put a timestamp in the description. You can just click to that and it'll jump straight into the prologue. I will not be commentating over anything that happens in the prologue because of story reasons. I don't like to interrupt that stuff usually. But I do feel like it is necessary, for the sake of honesty and transparency, to talk about some things before we jump on into this game. Now, like I said before, Ori and the Blind Forest is one of my favorite games of all time. It is my favorite platformer, Metroidvania, anything of the sort that has ever been made. And that is very high praise. I like a lot of platformers. I like a fair amount of Metroidvanias. Not only does this game, and not only does the Blind Forest, do everything that a Metroidvania should do well, but on top of that, it has some of the most gorgeous visuals, most gorgeous sound design, and soundtrack ever put on screen. And Ori and the Will of the Wisps, frankly, does all of that, but more. It's just a better sequel. But there is one thing that drags it down, and it has nothing to do with the game design. It has nothing to do with the visual design, the audio, any of those things. It's unfortunately the game's performance, and that is why this Let's Play is coming out a little late. That's why I did not start Let's Playing this game on day one, because this game was in such a state that doing so would have been, frankly, a disservice to it, but at the same time, it just wouldn't have been viewable. It wouldn't have been watchable because this game was, for the most part, plagued with frame drops. And that does not make for a good viewing experience, let alone a good playing experience. It was bad on both Xbox One and PC. In fact, I believe the PC version was in an even worse state. I actually had it better here on Xbox One because the PC version also experienced quite a few audio issues and sometimes straight up crashes. So since then, in the time between release and now, there has been one mega patch, one super patch that was designed to fix most, if not all, of the issues. And I wanted to wait until that patch came out before I jumped on this, but I also wanted to verify for myself if it fixed everything. Spoiler alert, it really hasn't. Not that it hasn't improved things, it's actually improved things quite a lot, but it's not perfect still, and I want you guys to know that before we jump on into this game, because there will be moments, including in cutscenes, where there might be the occasional frame that's dropped, and it is going to look a little weird, but other than that, there shouldn't be any other issues. Not to mention that a lot of the issues are very area specific. Usually just when a lot's happening on screen, because this game is, I mean, it's quite the technical achievement, let's say that. So I can understand why there are performance issues, but the fact that this game is not, you know, ideally perfectly optimized is a shame. And I only feel like that's fair for you guys to understand before I start gushing about this game and everything else that it does right, and you decide to go and purchase the game based on my recommendation. So, with all of that said, we can finally jump on into this thing. And I'm just going to be playing this on normal mode. There is an easy mode available for you right off the bat if you are not super adept at games like this, because Ori and the Will of the Wisps is hard. It is a very hard game. In fact, I would say it is actually even harder than Ori and the Blind Forest. However, it is more forgiving than Ori and the Blind Forest is. And there is a difference, and we'll be getting into that when we actually start talking about the game once the gameplay is in motion in the next episode. And then, of course, there's also a hard mode that is available right off the bat. These things had to be unlocked in Blind Forest, so that is one change from the get-go. Okay, now that all that has been said, let's jump into the prologue.
Hey.